So we're now halfway through 2025, and one of the most anticipated games for the rest of the year is undeniably The Outer Worlds 2. This follow-up to the 2019 action RPG that came from Fallout New Vegas developers Obsidian Entertainment promises to be a bigger, better sequel that will beef up everything that people loved about the original while sanding over those few rougher edges. Obsidian is certainly saying and showing all the right things so far, but if you're feeling a little left out of the loop, here is everything you need to know about The Outer Worlds 2 before it drops later this year. Number 7. It's a standalone sequel. Though The Outer Worlds was a commercial success beyond Obsidian's expectations, it certainly wasn't a game that everybody played, and so there's naturally concern that The Outer Worlds 2 will leave newcomers feeling a bit lost. But fear not, my friends, because this is an entirely standalone sequel that just so happens to exist in the same universe. While the first game was set in the colony of Halcyon, The Outer Worlds 2 takes place in the remote, wealthy colony of Arcadia, and will also cast players in the role of a new protagonist. Far from the colonist that we played in the first game, here we'll take control of an agent working for the Earth Directorate. Their mission? Investigate rifts in the fabric of space and time which have cut off contact between Arcadia and Earth, and report on conflicts between Arcadia's various factions vying for control.
Do you think I care that the colony is in disarray? We didn't come to Arcadia to get bogged down in pointless warfare. We came to spread freedom and liberate resources for profit.
Though it goes without saying that The Outer Worlds 2 will only expand the world building established in the first game, Obsidian has made it clear that they're keen to onboard newcomers as frictionlessly as possible. Number 6. It isn't open world, but it is bigger. The first Outer Worlds wasn't exactly an open world game, but rather utilised a hub-based structure, and Obsidian has confirmed that while this sequel also isn't open world, it will be significantly larger than its predecessor. The developer had much more time and a bigger budget to produce the sequel, and has invested this in creating larger hubs which encourage players to venture off the beaten path towards side quests and hidden points of interest away from the story. Now obviously bigger isn't always better, but Obsidian seems acutely aware of this, promising players that these larger hubs will feel more diverse and distinct, responding to feedback about the first game's worlds being both too small and overly familiar. The grander scale also extends to its narrative, which has been likened to World War I in space, as players contend with three opposing factions: the totalitarian government known as the Protectorate, the megacorp Auntie's Choice, and a group of rogue scientists turned faith-based futurists called the Order of the Ascendant. Number 5. The hilarious revamped perks and flaws system. The Outer Worlds 2 will feature an overhauled perks and flaws system from its predecessor, offering more than 90 traits for players to choose from, eclipsing even the number available in the developer's Fallout New Vegas. Obsidian has stated an intent to make both the perks and flaws more meaningful, after feeling that some players just didn't engage with them enough in the first game. And from what we've seen so far, they've done a fantastic job of coming up with hilariously creative traits that you'll definitely want to try out. The perks include expected buffs to strength, speed, and so on, but things get far more interesting with the flaws, which have been reworked to provide a mix of helpful and hindering abilities.
Okay, we need more flaws. We need them to be real. I want to put them in the game, so give me something. Inspiration. What's wrong with you?
I have bad knees.
One such flaw is bad knees, meaning that you'll move faster throughout the game world, but every time you stand up after crouching, your knees will let out a loud pop, making stealth more challenging. Elsewhere, there's kleptomaniac, where you can sell stolen goods for money, but you'll also just randomly steal items while you're out in the game world. Then there's pure silliness like sun gazer, where if you spend too long staring into the sky, you'll get stuck with an aggressive bloom effect over the screen. These are just a few of the traits on offer, and we can only hope that there are even more unhinged ones waiting to be discovered when we finally get our hands on the game. Number 4. Switch between first and third person. When the first Outer Worlds was released, some were disappointed that there was no option to swap from a first-person perspective to third-person, noting that it hindered them from feeling a tangible connection to their character because, well, they never got to see them. This left players relying on third-person mods in order to play the game how they wanted to. Given that perspective switching has been a common feature in similar RPGs like those produced by Bethesda, and even Obsidian's own recent Avowed, fans will be relieved to hear that The Outer Worlds 2 will allow players to hot swap between first and third person at will. And so the great many who would prefer to use first person for combat and third person for exploration are totally set, and you'll be able to switch between them at a mere press of a button. Number 3. Combat has been overhauled. Now, combat was among the more polarizing aspects of the original Outer Worlds, but Obsidian is committed to fixing that perception for the sequel. For starters, navigating the game's world during firefights will feel more fluid due to the enhanced movement options, including parkour-style traversal. Obsidian also consulted with Halo Studios for advice on tuning up the gunplay, which has improved recoil, animations, and sound effects. Furthermore, the Outer Worlds 2 will introduce a bevy of new weapons. This includes the tumor-firing Borst Blaster, a weapon called the Pop-Up which fires out drones that play adverts to distract enemies, and the Spectrum Dance Saber, a sword which deals extra damage if you time your attacks to the beat of its music. Gameplay previews have thus far spoken positively about the beefier combat, which seems to look, feel and sound so much better than before. Number 2. Your choices are permanent. And now we have by far the game's most controversial design choice. While the first Outer Worlds allowed players to respec their characters in order to try out different traits, the sequel makes your stat choices permanent. Obsidian has stated that they want player choice to have weight and feel like it matters, and so you'll certainly want to take a moment to think about the perks and flaws that you end up picking. Basically, you won't be able to alter your build on the fly to adapt to whatever situations arise in the game, ensuring that you'll need to commit fully to whatever traits you've selected. It's a decision that's already left some fans unhappy, but there is something to be said for encouraging players to build their character with real thought and intent. On the flip side, it's given that a respec mod will probably be released for the game in record time regardless. And number 1, the release date. And finally, we have the matter of the Outer Worlds 2 release date. Thankfully, we haven't actually got too long to wait, as the game will launch for Xbox, PC and PS5 on October the 29th of this year, just 2 days ahead of Halloween. And it goes without saying that Xbox Game Pass subscribers will be able to access the game day one on the service for no additional charge. But you know what, if you're especially keen to get your mitts on the Outer Worlds 2 as soon as possible, you can splurge an extra 20 quid for the Premium Edition, which allows you to start playing on October 24th, a full 5 days ahead of the main release. As the nights will be firmly drawing in by the end of October, the game's release couldn't really be better timed. A prime excuse to stay home and lose yourself in a grand adventure. Like any of us need any encouragement to do that though. And there we go, my friends, those were 7 things you need to know about the Outer Worlds 2. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Instagram and Blue Sky, where I'm at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. Hope to see you over there, my friends, and hope you're treating yourself well with love and respect, because you deserve the bloody best. I'll catch you in a bit. Bye.
For now I'll take one that's brand new, 'cause I'm yearning and burning for you. For you.
An adventure made for capitalism by capitalism.